Boom, boom, boom.
Hello, another video for King's War, and in this one I'll be doing a bit of a review of the two-player starter set. Now, I won't be showing you any of the models because I've already built some of them and some of them in sprue form. It just seems a bit higgledy-piggledy, just so some look like this, some look like this. I've not built all of them, haha, that sort of thing, but I'll tell you what's in it, what I think of it, and so on and so forth. So first off, the miniatures. The miniatures themselves are quite good. They are a step up. See, here's the thing with Mantic. A lot of people think their quality isn't as good as Games Workshop. I disagree with that, but I think with these sprues, people will disagree altogether, or change their mind, I would say. You get 8 sprues of Scarecrow / Spectres for the Night Stalkers, and you get 4 sprues for the Northern Alliance Human Clansmen. You also get 2 little baggies, one with a horror for the Night Stalkers, one with a hunter hero person for the Northern Alliance. You also get 3 Ice Trolls for the Northern Alliance and 3 Butchers for the Night Stalkers. The bagged up ones are in the I don't want to say it's red stick, but it kind of feels like that. It still feels like Mantic use red stick, and alright, whatever. You do you, I suppose. It's not my favourite stuff to work with, but at least it's better than normal resin, if I'm honest. They go together pretty well. Well, from a Night Stalker's point of view, because I haven't put together the Northern Lights ones. That just depends if my lady friend wants to play Northern Lights, because I've got a few other armies going off as well. But looking at the models, they look fairly easy to go together. The bodies are in one bit. It's just a case of the arms and heads and weapons, stuff like that. The bases are either the MDF ones for the 50mm if you're Northern Lights, or 40mm. No, 50mm if you're the Ice Trolls, 40mm if you're the Butchers, and then a load of the Mantic 20mm bases on the sprues. And then you've got 2 separate 20mm bases for the 2 characters. For the forces, they are pretty well balanced. The thing is, though, it depends how the Night Stalker player makes the models, because if you just make them as one infantry unit and not use, if you just make them into a horde, not a regiment, and then 2 units of shooty guys, the Spectres, you are going to limit yourself on what to know in the game. If it's your first time playing, have a regiment of skeletons, regiment of Scarecrows, and have 2 troops of Spectres. And then you've got the Butchers in one rank of 3, and then you've got the Horror Hero. Likewise for the Northern Alliance, have a regiment of Hunters, and then 2 troops of Human Clansmen, and then 2 troop of Hunters, because Hunters have the range weapons. The Northern Alliance look really nice. You could use them in like Dead Zone for things like GCPS, because a lot of people have done just use GCPS arms with rifles and whatnot. Works really well, and you can get 20 Human Clansmen for 20 quid. I think it's pretty good considering how good the sculpts are. All the models in this set are, I'd say, on par with Games Workshop stuff, but that's just what I think. No cleanup whatsoever on the models, no cleanup whatsoever. Alright, on the sprues there's a little bit, but it is what it is on the sprues. As 2 starter armies go, pretty good. You've got the Northern Lights, which are a bit heavy hitting, but run away or are wavered a bit earlier. A lot of the, well, in fact all of the Night Stalker stuff in here, apart from the horror, I believe, can't be wavered, so that's pretty good. Also, it shows you how stealthy works, which all Night Stalkers have, which again, pretty good. So it's a case of the stealthy stuff counteracts the hard-hitting stuff in close, more durable stuff of the Northern Alliance. But then you've got the Night Stalkers, which are a little bit more squishy, but they have a few more attacks. So it's give and take, give and take. So the how to play book. It's a little book. It shows you how things are set up. It doesn't show any rules, but it shows basic what you do for moving and whatnot. It's very basic in this regards. It shows you how to put the models together. It shows what if some of the models are a bit warped, or if you want to repose some of the rustic. I know it's got another term, but things like the butchers and the ice trolls. I'm just calling it Resdick because it kind of is. How to repose if you want, if you don't want the poses they've got, do you want them to look a bit different? Here's how to do it. It also shows off paint schemes. They use Vallejo paints, which I'll have to do a video with Vallejo paints versus Games Workshop paints. That's been a long time coming, to be honest. There are weaknesses and strengths to using both, but we're not on about that for this one. It then goes into a little campaign, 3 scenarios based on the ones in the main book, which I'll get onto in a minute. It just jazzes them up a little bit. This is the weakest part, I feel. It's supposed to be a 2-player starter set, yes, but it's also supposed to have some sort of campaign setting. It kind of does, but not really. It's got 3 missions that they kind of jazz up a little bit, and that's really it, which I don't really care because I'm not going to play them. But for people who are just getting into the game that just want something special for the first few games, I feel this is lacking a little bit. It's good if you just want to play the games, great. If you want a little spice to them, not so good. This is where it lacks a little bit. So I can show you one thing. This thing, freaking hell, little cart. So it also comes with a softback, smaller version of the main rulebook. The only you could call it a downside, but considering the price of it and how many pages it is and what it says is in it, if you'd be disappointed in what's missing, then why didn't you buy the big book, or what were you expecting? Because it's practically missing all the fluff, all the background, as you were, which if you just want to play the games, get into the games, that's it, done, it's there for you. It's a lot shorter. It's a lot shorter in that regard, and it does what it needs to. It contains all the armies, all the scenarios, all the rules, magic items, whatever. It does what it needs. It's good, it's concise. It basically does what the big book rulebook does, but misses out all the background, which, as I've got the big rulebook, I've given my mate the small one, and I still think it's pretty good. So, yeah. The 2-player starter set, I cannot stress it enough, it is a really good set. The only things that are missing is some tape measure and some dice. Even like a cardboardy tape measure thing. You couldn't have included some basic like that, Mantic? Really? And some dice? Not even very basic black and white ones? No. No. Fine. But other than them 2 quibbles, it's a pretty good set. It's about 75 quid, which in this day and age is a pretty good price. I know some people might think that's a bit expensive. you can shop around and whatnot. But in this day and age, compared to other 2-player starter sets, it's pretty good. Looking at some, you're looking at 100 quid plus, which to try and get people into the game is a bit expensive. 75 quid or lower, a good idea. Anything over that, depends how good the models are. But yeah, it's been a bit of a short video, but I'd just like to give my 2 thoughts on it. Goodbye for now.